Hi, this is Talking Europe today with a bit of a cultural flavour for you. We're at the European Parliament in Strasbourg, where the winner of the 2019 Lux Prize has been announced. That's the European Union's Cinema Prize. The winner is with me, Teona Strugar Mitevska. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll be talking about your film in just a second, but first I'd like to give our viewers a bit of a taster of your film and the other shortlisted films, as long as a bit of an idea as well about what the Lux Prize itself is all about. Take a look.
This could either be the world's biggest murder mystery or the world's most idiotic conspiracy theory.
The European Parliament unveiled the three finalists of the Lux Film Prize. The investigative documentary Cold Case Hammarskjöld dives into the mysterious death in 1961 of the Swedish UN Secretary-General Dag Hammarskjöld. Danish director Mads Brügger teams up with Swedish investigator Göran Björkdahl and unearths some new details about the crash in the context of Cold War politics.
Prevaricación, fraude continuado a la administración pública, estafa y falsedad en concurso y tráfico de influencias. ¿Algo que declarar?
¿Qué ha pasado?
Hay unas grabaciones.
El registro ha comenzado a primera hora de la mañana.
A partir de ahora quiero que me lo cuentes todo.
The thriller The Realm addresses a more current style of political scandal, depicting the fall of a corrupt politician. It's a fast-moving, adrenaline-packed drama by Spanish director Rodrigo Sorogoyen that skewers the wheeling and dealing of government. In God Exists, Her Name Is Petrunya, the North Macedonian director Teona Strugar Mitevska shines a light on feminism, conventions and religion in her country. The film follows a young woman who decides to go against her village's ancestral religious and societal traditions. The three films are subtitled in the 24 official EU languages and will be screened across the European Union before members of Parliament vote on the winner.
Teona, congratulations once again for your film God Exists, Her Name Is Petrunya. You're from Northern Macedonia. This was a co-production with several other European countries. Before we come to all of that though, just give us your reaction to winning this prize.
I'm not sure I know what is happening because it was a big surprise, and then there is this thing of I'm giving this interview, so I think tomorrow I will wake up and I will say to myself, wow, I won. What has just happened to me?
Exactly.
No, but it is an incredible opportunity for cinematography from such a small country. It is an incredible chance that for this film to be featured, seen, to travel all around Europe. It is. I couldn't have even dreamt for anything of this sort.
Absolutely, there have been screenings in all the European Union member states. It's been translated into all the official languages. You'll be getting promotional support as well afterwards. Let's just talk about the story though, because it's obviously won the hearts of the MEPs who are voting for the prize. Tell us about Petrunya, the title character, and her story.
Petrunya, in the beginning, she's an anti-hero. The first moment we see her, she's in the bed. Her mother brings her food. You never think that she would do anything with her life, yet she does. And I think it is a story that is quite rewarding for a viewer because you grow with the character itself.
She gets a moment of courage, doesn't she?
Totally.
She's looking for, she doesn't have a job, but she does have a history degree. She keeps being told, oh, you're not pretty enough, no one fancies you, why don't you have a husband? But then she has this moment of inspiration when she sees this religious ceremony. Tell us about that.
Yes, she sees an opportunity, this cross in the water, and she jumps for it, and she catches it.
So the idea is that this is a traditional ceremony in a particular place in Northern Macedonia that actually happens, and the priest throws a holy or a blessed cross into the river.
Exactly.
All the young men jump in. Whoever captures the cross gets to keep it, and they're blessed, I suppose. But this time it's
a year.
For a year.
Exactly.
But in this case, it's Petrunya who breaks all the codes. She's a woman. She's not supposed to be there. She jumps in, and it is based on a true story, is that
On
right?
a true story, a woman jumped for the cross 5 years ago. She caught the cross, and well, a revolution happened in the town of Štip, the same town where we shot the film. And it was incredible with the real person because she was very clear about her messaging. So she said, I caught the cross because I swam faster than all of you men. Don't I also have the right to have a happy year? So basically for us, it was inspiration to make the film and start the conversation.
Well, the men in the film are certainly extremely angry. They attack Petrunya, really, and chase her, and she has to take refuge in the police station. There's a lot about patriarchy, women being unequal in society in the film. How much does that match your lived experience in Northern Macedonia?
Completely, you know. We don't live in an equal world. Northern Macedonia or I would say the rest of the world, really, it is, we have not gained the ground. There is lots of work more to be done regarding gender issues and equality, really.
Well, in the film we see that there's, legally speaking, that no legal charges can be brought against her. But there's still this sense from the men, particularly, that morally she's done something wrong. So there are legal protections, but it's mentalities that want to change. Is that your message?
Yes, but that's actually the biggest problem. We humans are conformist. It's always easier to conform than to question the system. Also, we must be aware that society change happens slowly. It doesn't happen overnight. So what is written on paper, the law, it takes time to be properly implemented and practiced within a culture, within a certain setting. And yes, you know, the Balkan region, it is a very, well, it is a macho culture. And yeah, we have to fight for our ground.
Well, with that in mind, what has the reaction been in Northern Macedonia to the making of the film, the reaction to the film itself?
Listen, you know, when when we came to 2.5 years ago, we shot the film I'm sorry, not Veles, in Štip. And when we came to the town, the first reaction of the local authorities, local people was, why have you come to make a film about this crazy woman? She has already made so much trouble for us. Why don't you go to another town? And actually, this kind of reactions went even further. At one moment, my sister, who is the producer of the film, but also she acts the role of the journalist, she asked the church authority for a collaboration, and well, naively, she sent them the script with the title of the film, and a week later, we got a response from the local church authorities, and they said, thank you very much for your interest in collaborating, but we want nothing to do with you because God exists and it's a man.
Right.
So these are the attitudes. But to be positive, this year a woman also jumped in Štip. She caught the cross and the priest gave it to her without problem. So change is possible even in Macedonia, you know, and I think that the church authorities caught up on something that actually, yeah, change is necessary, and they have to adapt. They have to adapt.
Now, when you received the actual Lux Prize itself in the European Parliament, you said in your speech that you're always being criticised by Northern Macedonian politicians for being too political, and you talked about freedom of expression as well as being so important. Do you feel that freedom of expression is actually under threat?
Everywhere in the world, yes. We are walking a really fine line, I have a feeling. Either we will go to the Middle Ages or we will go to a Renaissance. So it is up to us by our actions.
Us meaning filmmakers or ordinary
Everybody,
citizens?
politicians, journalists. It is about truth, fighting for truth and justice, and really fighting for the right things, you know. Oleg Sentsov was here yesterday. This man spent 5 years in prison. This should not be allowed in the world we live in today, never again. And this is where our common fight lies, as creatives, artists, and you politicians. Again, I will repeat, to keep our liberty, to express ourselves freely and without fear.
Well, there is a journalist in the film who has one of the key roles. She becomes somewhat obsessed with following this story all the way through to the end. And I won't give too much away about that. But thinking about her character, considering that the media is very criticised at the moment, there's a lack of trust in journalists, in mainstream media in many countries. Do you think that the media perhaps is going to have a tougher time than beforehand in kind of, you know, unveiling inequalities, being believed in order to be able to redress the balance?
I think it is very problematic when media is politicized. It is not possible. Media as an entity needs to stay independent out of political influences. As well, art should stay independent out of political influences. How can you truly, fully talk about a certain subject if you are pressured from one or another side? It is my motto as an artist. And I think each journalist should have the same motto, independence. It is the only means to full freedom. Otherwise, I don't know where we're going, really.
Now, your country, Northern Macedonia, is in a period of great change and flux at the moment. Of course, the country changed its name, that with the intention of helping it to become or start the process of joining the European Union. There's been a hold-up on that process, partly because of doubts from France, from the Netherlands and others. You said in your speech here that you're a woman, Macedonian and European. Do you believe that Northern Macedonia will become a full EU member?
I don't see our place anywhere else. I really don't see how it is possible. We are European, we are part of Europe, and excluding us from this community, it is absurdity for me. So I think the Balkans need to be given a chance, because we can learn from each other. We can contribute. With all our problems, we can contribute.
What do you think the existing European member states can learn from Northern Macedonia and the other Balkans countries, perhaps?
What we can learn? Well, what did you learn from Petrunya? That we are actually not so different. We do live in a patriarchal world, you know, and on or a larger or smaller level, we are all affected by these inequalities that the system forces upon us. So, maybe that is one of the many other things.
And why do you think that the European Parliament chose your film? Do you think there was an aspect of the European Parliament wanting to give you a boost as a Northern Macedonian filmmaker in particular?
I would like to think that they were touched by the film and the force of Petrunya. I would not like to think that it is a political decision. But I also saw the 3 films, the finalists, and I find them amazing. So what I can say is it is so courageous of the Parliament to be able to put forward films that are very critical of many issues. And it should be like this.
Part of the prize is this promotional support from the European Union for your film. What next for you? What's your hope for the next steps?
What's next? Next is to make another good film. Really, to give my best and to create something that it's worth existing, you know. So something that will raise some other important issues.
And you collaborated with several other European countries in the making of this film. Was that a good experience for you? Sometimes at the European Parliament we see that many cooks can spoil the broth sometimes.
For me, always, it has never been an obstacle. I will give you an example. This summer, in August, was it in August? Yes. We made a co-production of Belgian-French film that came to Macedonia. It's called Siren in Paris. And they shot, and we provided them with service. Basically, all the interiors were shot in the studio that we created. And it was incredible because it was a mixed crew. So they were Macedonians, they were Belgian, they were French. Well, in the beginning, I was a little bit afraid about how everything will work because I know how to handle my crew. I've done it I have done many co-productions, but here it was something else. And actually, on the end, it worked very well. There was appreciations from all sides, so it is possible. It is about not having ego, it is about having open mind, and it is about having a positive attitude. And no. Yeah, so I can't say I've ever, I don't know how it happens in the parliament, but
It was a harmonious experience for you by the sound of it.
Yes, always a harmonious. I think it's all about listening.
That's a good message for the future, Teona Strugar Mitevska. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching the programme as well. See you next time on Talking Europe.